Hello and welcome to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That is guest co-host Steve Julian. Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists. Thanks for coming in and guest co-hosting, Steve.
Thanks for having me back. Good to be here.
Appreciate it. What is this? I think you're tied with Colin Mitchell as the person who's come here the most.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. I won't be here, but you're welcome to come back.
Well, neither will Colin, so that makes it okay.
Yeah, perfect. You got him beat. So we're going to be getting back to talking to you about some stuff you got going on as at the Covina Center for the Performing Arts. You're working on Death of a Salesman, a bunch of other things. And we have in the studio with us Jill Baxter Gerber, who is the instructor at YPI, Youth Performers Institute. And we're going to be talking to her as well. Thanks for coming in, Jill.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we've got two more guests. We're just packed with guests today, guys. We have Madison Hatter, who is calling in all the way from New York. She's an awesome musician. We're going to be playing some of her music. And we also have the amazing Lesli Margherita calling in later.
You mean Her Majesty?
Her Majesty.
Her Majesty.
Yes. Queen Lesli Margherita calling in later on in the show. And she has a show coming up on August 27th. All Hail the Queen. The bitch is back. We're allowed to say that on air.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Thankfully.
But she's so not that. I don't understand. What we'll ask her later.
I know.
She's the kindest, sweetest, gentlest. We'll ask her.
It's her persona, I guess. I don't know. She's very nice, though. We love Lesli. Second time guest on the show. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk first about this little co-host contest that we have going on, guys. I announced it on the show last week. We are looking for a new permanent co-host on La La Land. And we want to do it through video submissions. So we're going to be taking video submissions at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. Just a 1-2 minute video kind of talking about why you'd like to be a guest co-host or why you'd like to be a permanent co-host. Something creative. I want people to get creative, you know?
And this chair is really comfortable. You should apply. You should do this. Submit the video.
Yeah, come on, guys. We're going to be taking... The only requirements is that the person is involved in the arts in some way, either lives in Los Angeles or is from Los Angeles and is female. Outside of that, it's an open playing field.
It's a gender issue now.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
I want to work with a female. I think it's a better fit. So,
all right.
Send your videotapes, guys, to lalalandtalk@gmail.com. And you have until September 28th. We're going to pick the top 5, and then we're going to bring those 5 in, one each week to host, and our audience is going to pick. We'll post their videos. Our audience will pick who they like out of the 5. So it's on our audience if they don't like it.
Heavy responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, make sure you give us a call today at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. And talk with Madison Hatter. She's coming up next. She is pretty awesome, and we're going to start out with some of her music. And make sure you check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter at twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. We'll be back on La La Land Talk today with Brett and Steve Julian of KPCC on CRN Digital Talk.
That one day I'll learn
I'm Brett Chapin. That's guest co-host Steve Julian. And that was Madison Hatter. She is in New York right now. She's coming to LA this Thursday at the Whiskey Go-Go. She's opening for Faster Pussycat, Great White, and a whole bunch of other killer 80s bands. And we have her on the phone. Hey, Madison.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on? Thanks for calling in today. I know you're completely busy.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting. How are you guys doing? How's the weather out there?
Terribly hot. Don't come.
Yeah. It's been pretty hot out here. You're in for a dry spell. A heat wave.
Yeah? I'm excited. Bringing my suntan lotion.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're coming here Wednesday, right?
Yeah, my show's going to be on Thursday. I'm flying out a couple days early to rehearse and kind of finish all my business with the tickets, giving them to friends, passing them out, trying to sell all of them, and just settling in. I used to live out in LA. I lived there for about 6 years. I love it out there. So I have a whole to-do list of activities I want to do, people I want to see. It's going to be a crazy week.
I'll bet. Culminating on Thursday with your show at the Whiskey Go-Go.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
And people can find information about that show at madisonhatter.com. But it's you got a crazy spelling. It's MADYSINHATTER.com. Right,
yep, MADY, like mad. Why am I mad? Sin, SIN, Hatter. .com. I just like to make things as complicated as possible, really. And it looks cool, you know. So, yeah, you can go to the website or on my Facebook page. I'm, like, constantly updating that. And all the information's there, my blog, too. And people can reach out for tickets. I have a few left. It's going to be a crazy night. I'm actually opening for Jack Russell's Great White. He's the singer from the original Great White. He founded Great White. And they're easily in my top 10 favorite bands, literally of all time. So
nice.
I'm beside myself. I can't wait.
And Faster Pussycat, and there was another band that I saw on that poster that's really
Bullet Boys.
Bullet Boys, that's
I love
right.
them.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Madison, do you find more inspiration for writing in New York than you did here in Los Angeles?
It's kind of a toss-up. Like I said, I love LA. I love New York, too. I actually was born in New Jersey. So it really depends what kind of a mood I'm in. Depends on the weather, depends on the day, depends what I'm wearing, you know. I find inspiration everywhere. One of the songs that I'm recording right now for the EP I have coming up is called Pretty Little Fool. And that's actually a quote from Great Gatsby. It's actually a beautiful little fool in the actual book, but I get inspiration from everywhere. Just have to be in the right mood, and timing has to be right.
Are you a reader of classic American material, or did you just happen to come across it?
Randomly, yeah. I mean, I love Alice in Wonderland, obviously, because Madison Hatter. And growing up, Great Gatsby was, like, a favorite book of mine as well. It's something, like, jumps out at me. I mean, I have another song called Rocky Road that's going to be on the EP. And I mean, go figure, that's the name of an ice cream. And I don't even eat that kind of ice cream. My favorite kind of ice cream is chocolate chip mint. But if something jumps out at me and it kind of catches in my mind, it usually just sticks and develops into something.
Now, how long have you been writing, Madison?
I've been writing music pretty much my whole life. I grew up loving Jem and the Holograms, you know, that 80s cartoon show. She's like a normal girl, and then she has these magic earrings, and she turns into a rock star, but nobody knows that she's like the rock star. There were like little music videos and like original songs in like every single episode.
I was busy watching He-Man.
Sorry?
So I was busy watching He-Man. I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, I watched She-Ra, Princess of Power. I liked He-Man too, but the whole like magic sword, magic earrings, I guess there's a theme there.
Yeah, that flows in
I'd
your
be
music.
writing music during recess on the monkey bars, trying to get my friends to be like my backup dancers.
That's so cool. It starts early, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You go with what you love.
So you said you're from LA? You grew up here. Did you were you involved with bands in high school and things like that? Junior high?
Well, I originally grew up in New Jersey, and I was actually more into theater growing up. I did some shows in New York. I did a Broadway show when I was 9.
Wow.
And I moved out to L.A. for school. I was a theater major at UCLA, and that's I've been in like various bands growing up in high school. Always was a huge rock fan. Aerosmith is like my number one influence. The second I started listening to Aerosmith, I knew like this is what I want to do. This is like exactly like the path I want to do and all that stuff. But I loved going to Whiskey A Go-Go as an audience member and just watching all of these awesome rock bands. Like I love the whole scene of the Sunset Strip. There's just like so much like opportunity and like stories and history there. So I'm excited to actually play at one of those venues. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I can imagine.
How different are you on stage than you are off?
That's a good question. I pretty much view myself, like I love letting my inner child come out always. Obviously there's a time and a place for everything like that. I feel like I'm the most free and most like myself, like my true self on stage. And it's kind of ironic because like the whole name Madison Hatter, that's obviously not like my birth name. My mom wasn't like, you're going to be named after like a Lewis Carroll character. But even though that's not like my real name, I feel most like myself with kind of that persona. So it's kind of an interesting little twist. But in everyday life, I mean, you can ask my friends. I'm always immersed in rock. I love talking about music. I love the whole package of that. So I think they're pretty similar, but more of like a showman on stage, you know? I don't go around singing 24/7 and that kind of stuff. So I'm really most free on stage.
You save it for the stage. Nice. Guys, we're going to be back. We're talking with Madison Hatter. If you have any questions for her, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. And hang on one second, Madison. We'll be right back with you, okay?
Awesome, thank you.
On La La Land with Brett and Steve Julian on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's KPCC's Steve Julian. We are talking with Madison Hatter. She is a rock musician. She has a show this Thursday, and she's on the phone. Hey, Madison.
Holler, hey.
What's up? So where do you get your inspiration from? You talked a little bit about, The Great Gatsby and books that you've read. Is there any other places that you draw your inspiration from?
The musicians and the bands that I love. Any song that really rings true and like honest to me and gets my feet moving, that'll inspire me to just be free. And usually when I'm feeling good, that's when the inspiration really comes. Like I said, Aerosmith is hands down my favorite band of all time. Steven Tyler is an incredible performer and singer and everything, so that's really what got me initially inspired. That and Gem and the Holograms, of course. And then I love like Led Zeppelin, Pat Benatar, AC/DC. There's like a ton.
How about your family? Are they musicians as well?
Kind of like in the shower.
Okay.
My parents are both phys ed teachers, and my dad, I grew up listening to him playing rock music, classic rock all the time. My mom as well, a huge Janis Joplin fan. And they had a ton of like CDs and vinyl in the basement. That's actually how I first heard Aerosmith, was from their collection. So they've definitely been a huge influence, not themselves singing or playing instruments, but kind of what they exposed me to growing up.
Are you a thematic writer? Do you write about themes like relationships or politics, or is it just whatever hits you?
It can be thematic. I wrote a song called War, which is very much kind of a protest against war. But it has to relate to me and what I'm going through or what I have gone through. something I grab inspiration from all the time. I started keeping a journal when I was like 13 or 14 for years and years. I've gone through like probably 100 journals at this point. So even if I'm stuck on something, I kind of go back in time with my journal and see what I was feeling a certain day, and can I connect to that now? Can other people relate to it? And then I just build on that.
The history of Madison Hatter.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great way to do it.
It's fun. It's fun to look back.
So I know this question's a little bit cliche, but what's your favorite thing about performing? Is it the audience reaction? Is it being on stage? Is it singing the songs? What is it?
I feel great being able to express myself, and I feel the safest expressing myself on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a rush, It's a great feeling. It's freeing. It's a lot of fun, too, the whole adrenaline leading up to it and then actually executing it. And that's the main thing, I think. I love performing. It's one of my favorite things to do, like, in the world.
Absolutely. I know the feeling. So you got your show on Thursday at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and for those that don't know, out here in Los Angeles, the Whiskey A Go-Go is on Sunset Boulevard. It's a very, very well-known club. A lot of very talented, well-respected musicians have performed there and continue to perform there all the time.
It launched so many careers in the 60s.
Yeah, it really did.
70s, yeah.
It's continuing to do so. I guess with Madison Hatter, it's starting to launch your career too, right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to the show. I'm looking forward to stepping on that infamous stage and just experiencing the whole thing.
Very cool. Well, we can't wait to hear more from you. People can find your information on iTunes and on Facebook at facebook.com/Madison Hatter, twitter.com/Madison Hatter. You've got a blog. What's your blog, Madison?
My blog is www.madisonhatter.blogspot.com, and I update that pretty regularly, too.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for calling us, and break a leg at your show on Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Take care, Madison.
You too. Bye.
Guys, we're going to be back talking with Jill Baxter Gerber of YPI, the Young Performers Institute. If you have any questions for her, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225, 1-800-336-2225. And if you call in and ask her a question, you're going to get a copy of the Chictionary written by Anna Leffler, last week's guest. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Steve Julian on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I am Brett Chapin. That's Steve Julian.
Howdy.
We have with us... What's that?
Howdy.
Howdy. We have with us the incredible musical theater sensation and Olivier Award-winning actress, Lesli Margherita. Hey, Lesli.
Hello.
I can't believe this. I am in the presence of glory.
Presence of royalty.
Hey,
On my
on the edge of
knees.
glory.
I am on my knees.
That happens a lot with me.
I know.
This is Queen Lesli Margherita, and she has a show on the 22nd.
I do. I have a giant cabaret show called All Hail the Queen on the 22nd.
Is the subtitle to that is The Bitch Is Back, right?
The Bitch Is Back, yeah. This is, the 5th or 6th version of All Hail the Queen, and this is a brand new version. Every song, every story's new, and it's called The Bitch Is Back. It's really good. It's a supper club.
I saw her show 2 years ago at Hollywood and Highland.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was blown away. It was so much more than I expected. Seriously, I loved it. And it made me a stalker because then I started to follow her around to different shows she was doing. She had already done See What You Want to See the Blank, or that's where I met her first. And then she did the Queen show. And then I went up to Sacramento to see her do Spamalot with Glenn Cassell and Gary Beach.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like just following this woman all over California, watching her perform.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love stalkers.
Buy some mace, Leslie. Just kidding.
I'm glad you like the Queen show. It's really different. It's not like a normal cabaret show. It's more like a Bette Midler-y kind of nightclub act. Really fun. And this one, I think, is the best one yet.
Wow.
Very cool.
How is that even possible?
I know. We've been working on it for a really long time. It's been in the works for, about a year. So it takes that long to kind of get everything together, and we have dancers and a band, and so it just takes so long to get everybody together.
How many costume changes?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on.
A few.
Okay.
A few costume changes, a few hair changes.
Very cool. I cannot wait to see this show, Leslie. You know, I was a big fan of Leslie's too long before she came on the show, and just followed her work. She's fantastic. You're fantastic.
Thanks.
So people can find out information about that show at LesliMargherita.com, right?
Yes, LesliMargherita.com, and if you want, you can find it, but if you go LesliMargherita.com/AHQ, or All Hail Queen, it leads you right to the site where you can buy tickets.
Ah, very nice.
How convenient.
How convenient. Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting.
And then you're also working on your show at the Falcon Theater, right? It's in previews right now?
I just had a matinee. I'm doing a play at the Falcon called The Gronholm Method, and we open next Friday. We're in previews right now. So I just had a matinee and have another show tonight. And then in between, I'm sitting here with my director, actually, Lauren Bass, and so in between shows, we rehearse the Queen show. So I'm multitasking.
Do you ever sleep?
No, not lately. None of us do. I swear, I have the best team. And there is an entire team of people putting together the Queen show. Between Lauren produces and directs it, her brother produces it. Her brother also styles me. Brett Ryback is my musical director, and he does all of the arrangements and everything. And then we have a team of people doing video work and choreography. Katie Durham is a choreographer. So, there's a ton of people involved in it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that show at the Falcon is in previews right now, right? And then
yeah.
How long does it run? When does it close?
It runs until September 30th. There are 8 shows a week, but don't buy tickets for August 22nd because you will be buying tickets to All Hail the Queen.
Oh.
When I got the job at the Falcon, I said, great, I love it, but I have a problem on the 22nd, so I'm lucky enough to have a great understudy here who's going to go on that night for me while I'm off queening away.
And this is a really contentious play that you're in, too, at the Falcon. Can you describe the scenario?
It's amazing. It takes place four corporate people come together for an interview, and it basically, the interview is not what it seems, and these 4 people are not who they seem. It's a little bit like Lost in that way. It's really, really cool. I can't tell you much more than that because it'll give it away. But it's about the corporate world and what people will do to get a job, which I can identify with.
I actually haven't heard of it before. Is it a modern show or is it a classical?
Yeah, it's brand new. It's been done all over the world, and this is the first time it's being done in America. And they have plans to bring it to New York, and they wanted to try it here first in Los Angeles. So it is an American premiere, but it's got a huge following in Europe. People love this show, and there's been a movie made of it in Spain, and it's been like a worldwide phenomenon. So it's really exciting to be able to do it here.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So you've worked over in London. You've done Zorro in London, for which you won an Olivier Award. And for those that don't know, the Olivier Award is it's basically the Tony Awards for London.
Yeah.
And I loved your speech. Tell me about some of the differences between working in London in theater and working in Los Angeles. Are there similarities, differences?
A lot more.
Makes sense.
Let's move to London.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, literally, the band will go to the pub at intermission and then come back. They have a timer.
Really?
Yeah, there's not much difference, honestly. For me, it was literally just being away from friends and family. But there's really no difference than theater that we do out here in London theater. They, I kind of thought they'd be stuffy and arty, and they're not like that at all. They're really, the British people are fantastic, and the theater community there is so tight. And the best thing about the theater community is there is no difference between a theater actor and a film actor. And sometimes out here, you know, you kind of like, oh, you're a film actor or you're a musical theater actor. They really kind of do everything in London, and everything is equally as important to them, which I thought was really cool.
So you're saying in London, theater gets the respect that it deserves?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, like, you know, I'd look out my dressing room window and you'd see the guy that was Dumbledore in all the Harry Potter movies in his dressing room getting ready to go on. You know, they just do everything, and the actors there want to do theater really badly.
Sounds awesome. Well, guys, if you have any questions for Lesli Margherita, make sure you give us a call, 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. Get a copy of The Chictionary by Anna Leffler just for calling in and asking a question. And we'll be back on La La Land today with Brett and Steve Julian right here on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I am Brett Chapin. That's Steve Julian. We're talking with the very talented actress Lesli Margherita. If you have any questions for Lesli, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. 1-800-336-2225. And just for calling in, you'll get a copy of The Chictionary written by last week's guest, Anna Leffler. Queen Lesli.
Hello.
Hello. So you're doing the Queen show. You're doing the show at the Falcon Theater right now. Is there any projects that you are looking to make happen in the future? Is there? Do you think another Queen show might happen in the future, or another play? Do you have anything coming up?
I can't talk to you about anything.
Okay.
There's some things coming up, yes. I just can't say yet. But,
okay.
As far as like the Queen show, for sure. This version of All Hail the Queen, The Bitch is Back, this is the first time we're doing it. So we'll probably do this version in New York, probably maybe at the top of the year. So we'll definitely do this one in New York, and then we take a few months in between to kind of tweak things, put new pop songs in, or take it different cities. We're really looking forward to bringing this. We're going to try and do the Queen show in San Francisco as well this year. So that's exciting because that's my home and my family would love that. But yeah, there's a few shows coming up, a few things in the works.
Okay.
Let me ask you something about, I have to say that you're one of the most versatile actors I've ever seen on stage. Because,
oh, thanks.
Well, you can go from Lady of the Lake in Spamalot to Dulcinea in Men of La Mancha. How do you make those adjustments internally?
I don't know. I just do. It's like, I feel like there's no difference. Honestly, things like Lady of the Lake, if you don't play it kind of seriously, it's not as funny. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, there's really no difference, and I love doing both kinds of roles. It is strange, I'll tell you, when I have to do a role that is not funny, I always go through a minor breakdown going, oh, God, it's not funny, but then I get over it, and I really enjoy it. It kind of takes a little bit of pressure off if you're not the funny one. But for me, there's no difference. And something like Men of La Mancha, Alfonso is one of my favorite roles, and that one's hard only because you go through so much every night, and you're screaming, and you're just crawling on the ground, and that one's a tough one. The comedy roles are easy. Comedy roles are so fun, and Spamalot, you wear the pretty outfits. But no, for me, I can kind of differentiate between the two pretty easily. Very lucky that way. For the dramatic stuff, it's more just about psyching myself up and staying healthy.
Right. Is there a role, a straight role that you long to do?
Like in a play or a musical, like dramatic?
Yeah, dramatic, straight, non-singing role.
Oh, a non-singing role. It's hard. I really want to do Maggie the Cat. I would love that. I just saw a great production of Macbeth at the NTS, and I was like, oh, Lady M would be great to do as well. And then, like the musical side, I'm dying to do Evita. Dying to do Evita. I really, really, really want to do it. So
That'd be a great part.
My friend is playing it on Broadway now, and she's phenomenal. And hopefully someday I'll get to do it as well. We'll see.
Now you're on Twitter, and by the way, guys, follow her at Queen Lesli, Lesli.
Leslie.
And the thing that I really like about you, and I've seen you in Man of La Mancha, and of course you're a wonderful performer, but what I really like about you is that you make yourself real. You make yourself very human on Twitter. You're not an artsy type of actress. You'll put out tweets like, if you're seeing the show tonight, I apologize about my hair. You just, you make yourself real. Do you think that that's really helped you in your career as far as getting work and being noticed? Just being real?
Okay, this is really interesting because I have had people say to me, you should be careful about what you put on Facebook and Twitter because people in the industry might not take you seriously or, it might affect casting people's decisions. And I have been a huge, huge supporter of people who are letting themselves be who they are. And I feel that helps people actually get to know you quicker. And honestly, I don't want to work with anybody who can't differentiate between what I put on Twitter and what I'm going to do on stage. I think it's the stupidest thing. So I don't say offensive things on Twitter. I would never do that. But I'm just going to be me, and I feel like what's great about the Queen show is what I say on Twitter and Facebook I can say in my show.
Yeah.
I would much rather be real and honest, and those are the performers that I love the most, who are interesting off stage as well. And I really am a huge proponent of social media. I love it, and I know that a lot of actors are like, oh, I can't go on it. I don't want certain pictures on there. And I totally get it. You don't want naked pictures of you out there with people not wanting to hire you. But at the same time, you got to be yourself. And I think we need to give people credit that they know that what I'm saying on Twitter is not what I'm going to put on stage.
I agree. It's like, how far can you go? But I really think you got to be yourself on social media.
Yeah.
Queen Lesli Margherita. Check her out at LesliMargherita.com. Check her out at the Falcon Theater in the Groundhole Method, and check her out on August 22nd at her show, All Hail the Queen, The Bitch is Back. Thanks so much for calling in, Lesli.
Thank you so much.
And we got to get you in here in person one of these days, okay?
Oh, totally. I want to come and co-host.
Very cool. We'll be back on La La Land today with Brett and Steve on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Steve Julian.
Hello.
If you have any questions for our amazingly talented guest, Jill Gerber, give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. But before we get to Jill, I wanted to ask you, Steve, you're directing Death of a Salesman right now. And you have auditions coming up?
Coming up next Saturday with callbacks on Sunday, the 18th and 19th? Right, yes.
18th and 19th?
Yes, at the Covina Center for the Performing Arts. The classic American tale.
That is a fantastic, fantastic show.
Yeah.
And people can find information about those auditions at
CovinaCenter.com.
CovinaCenter.com.
Yep.
Very cool. And I got to go out to the Hollywood Fringe Festival recently and see Steve's show, Altercations, which was absolutely a phenomenal, phenomenal show.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations on that. I would say where people can get information about Altercation. Is it going to be playing anywhere again anytime soon?
It's a story about the Catholic Church priest abuse crisis, and which it's set in the church in this play, but of course we know that it occurs in universities like at Penn State and just in so many other places. It's more of a universal story about these four people. So after the Fringe performances, I rewrote the play because of things that I saw that I liked and didn't like. And now it's a matter of getting the cast back together, rereading the play in this new form, and then finding a new production space for it, hopefully in the spring.
Yeah, I hope that happens because it's a phenomenal show.
Thanks.
And quite a heavy subject, but it's important that you're dealing with it, I think. And switching gears real quick here to Jill Gerber. Hi, Jill.
Hi.
You are an instructor at YPI Young Performers Academy,
Yes.
Young Performers Institute.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your work with them.
The Young Performers Institute is a nonprofit organization, and we serve our community in training young people from 6 years old through college age in the performing arts, in acting and singing and dancing. And we've done some improv classes and ballroom classes and kind of whatever we have a call for. That's what we try to provide. So we've had a really exciting summer this summer with that program.
Excellent. Yeah, you were telling me you worked on Beauty and the Beast Junior recently?
Yes. Our younger students, again, ages 6 through about 15, they got together. There were 35 in the cast. One thing about our program is we really strive to keep a minimum number of students involved so that all of them can get really individual attention and they all have an opportunity to shine. If you're the third kid in the third row on the left and they're, waving to, that's not what we're about. We want to really nurture our students and give them a lot of individual attention. So 35 is our max. And we had that meeting in Beauty and the Beast this summer, and it was just a fabulous production. They did such a great job. They're little Mrs. Potts. And so cute.
That's great.
So cute. They did a great job.
And they're working on Footloose right now at the Covina
Well, our
Center.
older students are.
Which
yeah.
I saw last night.
Yes. We've had a really rare opportunity, a wonderful opportunity this summer because we were invited by Covina Center for the Performing Arts to do a mutual production with them.
Mm-hmm.
And Footloose, has a lot of teenagers in it. So we were invited to supply those teenagers from our educational program. So the kids started working in May and rehearsed hours and hours and hours to get to that level where they could perform with the big boys.
I'll bet.
And we're in the process. We have 2 more weekends. So
I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it next
awesome.
weekend.
Yeah.
For any information on YPI, guys, check them out at ypiinfo.com. And thanks so much for coming in and joining us, Jill.
Thanks for inviting me.
I have so many more questions for you. I wish we had more
It's
time.
okay.
You'll have to come back.
All right.
You co-host.
Yeah, why not? Steve, you've been a great co-host. I learn so much every time you come in. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Brett.
Guys, until next week, I am Brett Chapin. We have a very special co-host next week. That's Steve Julian. This is La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. We'll see you at the top.